ruined the hard open. I forgot to title the episode correctly. We're back. Take your calls. 905-688-2582. That's straight down the middle of the dial. 905-688-2582.
Whose number are you giving out?
That's 610 CKTB.
Whoa, Jim's having a flashback.
Call me on
That's
the
right.
Tom McConnell Show.
Do we have a call-in number? If you got any questions,
I could put a Zoom
comments.
link up. I could put a Zoom link up.
Put it in the comments. We'll be reading the comments as we go. We're back for a second session today on Thursday.
My third session.
Prior, we talked to Peter and Rob, and now we're going to talk to each other.
You're going to do all the talking.
I'm doing all the talking. Well, what's going on, world? I can tell you what's going on. I got clips. I got some Dr. Hergy clips. I got some Grant LaFleche clips. We got a protest this weekend. It's election season, so there's a bit of that going on. And I got called out by the former editor-in-chief of the Niagara Dailies. In a big way, actually. So we're going to talk about that, too. The title of the episode is WTF Niagara, Targeted by Media Elite. And that's so we're going to get through all that, hopefully, in the next 45 minutes to an hour.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
No problem. I still haven't pulled up the cameras. I'll get to that. So just
right.
Let's just dive straight in.
We're diving in.
Where did this newest drama start?
The newest, we're going to build up to the drama. Okay. First, let's titillate the audience with a little bit of our common adversary.
Foreplay?
None other than Grant LaFleche.
Foreplay with Grant LaFleche.
That's right. Bad. So we've got a clip here from Grant last week at on CKTB on the Tom McConnell Show, where Grant says that some stuff. He says that Justin Trudeau is an innocent little angel who does not deserve our scorn. Let's check it out.
Very kind of close policy-wise, right? It's a matter of degrees, but there's not a huge difference often between them. The thing that seems to have mobilized these folks, I mean, look, they're largely against vaccines generally. They're against masks. They're against lockdowns.
Right.
You're on the channel, the usual conspiracy theories about the pandemic being fake. That, take horse dewormer to cure yourself, which, by the way, to your listeners, please don't do this. That's all there. But the sort of inciting thing is the arrival across Canada of vaccine mandates in some workplaces, government workplaces, vaccine passports, as we're seeing roll out across the country. And they're aiming their rage about the vaccine passports at Trudeau. And the irony there is the federal government really doesn't decide that. Healthcare policy, as you know, is decided by the provinces, not by Ottawa. Ottawa provides the funding only. So, if you're angry about vaccine passports, Justin Trudeau, or any of the federal leaders for that matter, really isn't where your rage ought to go. But in the context of the larger conspiracy theory, he's part of this imagined global plot to sort of destroy the world, through this fraudulent pandemic. So in that sense, it makes, why they're there. But in terms of why they're targeting him for vaccine passports is utterly misguided.
There we go. So what we heard there is Grant LaFleche claim that targeting Justin Trudeau for having anger towards Justin Trudeau is utterly misguided for vaccine passports, claiming that it's up to the provinces. Of course, I do believe Justin Trudeau launched the election because of vaccine passports, and he said you can't get on a plane or a train and all that. So Justin Trudeau has taken a strong position By strong, I mean he's been taking a clear position. So I think this guy's full of crap
three
here.
front-running.
Like what?
You know, in the context of the larger conspiracy theory, he's part of this imagined global plot.
So this
sort of
imagined
destroy the
global
world,
plot is
you
one
know,
of the
through
things
this-
I really
through this
wanted
fraudulent
to
pandemic.
highlight here in this quote. Grant, it's not our imaginations. The global plot is not our imaginations. Actually, we're not that clever as to have imagined all of this. So I think that you're really full of it there. We know that Justin Trudeau is a global citizen. And we've got here, there we go, global citizen. Here he is hanging out with Bill Gates. Hug me, I save lives. Oh man, there he is speaking at the Global Citizen Awards. Of course, that by itself doesn't mean anything. So we're going to look up here, Agenda 2030 Canada, and we've got towards Canada's Agenda 2030 strategy. We got a little bit of a PDF document here where you'll notice this ring of colors. This ring of colors is the logo for Agenda 2030. It serves as a symbol for the World Economic Forum's Great Reset as well, although they're not directly the same thing. And so this circle has turned into our graphic here. No Great Reset for our protest on Saturday. And I want it to be known clearly that this was designed in direct response to this claim of an imagined global plot. The Great Reset is not an imagination of mine. I have a very good imagination, and when I imagine things, I imagine video games, comic books. I got a little world of rodents and superheroes. I don't need to use my imagination on inventing a conspiracy. I just don't. The conspiracy is out there. It's global. And frankly, I think we're in sort of a class war. And I mean, I'm not a class war guy. I'm not a Marxist or anything, but I think we're in a class war. So there's our opening. Emily Spanton wants St. Catharines to know that if you live with, work with, or are yourself immunocompromised, to avoid the area of Montebello Park on Saturday, and instead go to the Performing Arts Center for the Celebration of Nations. That sounds exciting. I actually, once again, we have to point out that calling your political dissidents disease carriers is a precursor to atrocity. It just is. I'm sorry that you don't quite realize how Nazi-esque you're being. I know you don't feel that you're like that, but again, to say that to affiliate yourself with this political movement is to expose yourself to risk of disease is concerning. It's a concerning rhetoric. I'm concerned. To put it lightly, to put it gently, to put it mildly. So Emily won't be joining us, I guess, at the No Great Reset event Saturday at Montebello. Montebello.
Dude,
You like that?
I know how to get Emily over there.
Montebello. How do you get Emily to the Montebello?
Jameson and an 8-ball.
Okay, Jameson and 8-ball.
Jameson is whiskey.
I
That's what she drinks.
I don't know what an 8-ball is. So that's what starts us off. So we'll be there on Saturday.
Can't have fun with this guy.
I'll be super stoked. And again, I know our audience knows this more than anyone, but I can't use a megaphone. I'm not allowed to use a megaphone. If I'm 50 meters within a megaphone, I could be arrested, and there's a good chance on account of that I will be arrested on Saturday just for being among the megaphones. I mean, we can't let that get normalized. That's not normal. That's not okay. I should be raging about it. It's been more than 4 months, so it's kind of normalized for me in my mind, but it is outrageous. It is actually outrageous that I'd never even seen a judge. They just handed me a piece of paper and said, you can't use a megaphone. And of course, as we remember last May, I did use a megaphone and I did go to jail for defying my bail conditions. So it's been 4 months, and now we have, we're on the precipice of losing our individual autonomy, our bodily rights through vaccine passports. And so I'm not going to just sit back and not protest before winter. Winter is coming, and we got to use summer. We got to use what summer we have left.
So somebody referred to it the other day.
I don't know what the current gathering limits are in Ontario. Do you? Are there gathering limits still?
I don't know.
Well, if more than 100 people come, I might be in trouble. I might be in trouble because, yes, I did make a poster and distribute a poster for a public gathering, risking my liberty. Shoot.
Yeah, wow. And copping to it live on the air. That's not good for the judge.
What's that? I told the judge, I've premeditated this crime. That's right. I said that before, too. You've been my confessional, Jim. You know, I come and I confess my thought crimes here on the Jim Fannon Show, and then all of our haters get to observe it and quote it and use it against us later.
Mm-hmm. What else we got? What else we got for clips?
What else we got on clips? You want me to plow through the clips off the top?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. We got a Dr. Hergy clip. This is Dr. Hergy saying some stuff. Probably boring.
Protests, etc. So if you could talk.
And I will point out, he does sound very much like a Muppet. You could really imagine a Dr. Hergy Muppet, couldn't you?
About that'd be great.
Yeah,
I wish I
you know,
could
I
full
think
screen it.
that kind of
Crank it.
credential and particularly
Can you
some
crank it?
sort
Yes,
of
I can turn it
social
up.
restrictions linked to it is pretty unprecedented in our society. We've not really seen those sorts of things.
You know, assuming that there is a provincial vaccine passport coming in, I'm sure there'll be more protests, etc. So if you could talk a little bit about that'd be great.
Yeah, you know, I think that kind of credential and particularly some sort of social restrictions linked to it is pretty unprecedented in our society. We've not really.
I just want to stop him there for a second. So what he did just say is a credential, social restrictions linked to it is pretty unprecedented in our society. So anyone who's bringing up those yellow card memes, being like, oh, you had a vaccine passport to go to school. Dr. Hergy has clarified that for you.
Yellow
seen
Star.
those sorts of things in the past. And I'm very mindful that, you know, we often talk about, you know, anti-vax people or vaccine hesitant people or people who've been complacent and not got their vaccinations. And these are all people who are maybe being irresponsible and not thinking enough about the rest of society. Wow. I'm very mindful that there are people out there who have true barriers to getting vaccinated. They may not have transportation to get to a vaccine clinic. They might be working multiple jobs just to make ends meet and not have had time to get out to a vaccine clinic. They might be a single parent who's really...
Or they've done their research. They're willing to take their chances with the flu because they're vaccine averse. Maybe they've had vaccines and had bad reactions. Maybe they have a religious belief against them. Maybe they're just educated as to the risks and they've decided that they don't need a flu shot, basically. It doesn't even conform to what the flu shot normally is. The flu shot normally would be a flu, do they call it a flu vaccine? Where you actually get a little piece of it in you and it builds your immunity and you come out of it immune to whatever strain of virus is in that shot. This is not that. I just simply never took the flu shot. I don't usually get sick that often. I am germ conscious like you. I haven't touched a common doorknob in public in 30 years, and that's not a joke. It's not even an exaggeration.
I saw you use your sleeve today.
Sorry?
I saw you use your sleeve today
I
to
never
open a door.
touch a doorknob, man.
Doesn't
I
touch
just
a
don't like
doorknob.
getting sick, and I don't go out when I'm sick, and I don't share joints or bottles when I'm sick. I make people wash their hands when they're around me. I mean, I just don't like passing it on. So to ask me when I go shopping, do you have any symptoms? No, if I had them, I wouldn't be here. Okay? Like, duh. So I think this whole division of society is coming up on every issue. We saw it subversively, covertly with Obama. We saw it right on the open with Trump, the way he divided people or allowed for division to take place more than divide people. I think he was just a strong character, and you like him or not. And now this is all we see on every issue, on masking, on kids. When you come for the kids, you've got a problem with me. And for this guy to say, oh, they just don't care, like I have my mics down and we're off camera, I'm out loud going, like, 'cause I haven't seen these clips. Wow. That's all I've got. Because I don't think about others. What a pompous, arrogant, entitled, judgmental thing to say, you know? And I got my own problems with ego, judgment, and pride, okay? But this man, this Muppet he's got way too much power. Unelected.
Let's not focus on him.
Interim.
It's a class thing.
Yeah.
It's a class thing. He's protecting not just himself, but his class.
Getting $300K a year plus in salary.
And he's here, according to this quote, sympathizing with the disadvantaged person working multiple jobs that hasn't yet had the chance to get vaccinated.
Or doesn't have a ride there. No, maybe we're just educated on it. Maybe we've decided we're going to roll the dice on COVID.
Well, I think the argument he's building here is that we need to be patient and not rush to judgment against the unvaccinated, because a certain section of them aren't the people you describe who've made up their mind.
You want to get judgmental? Let's get realistic here.
Uh-oh.
Every single one of you fuckers that had COVID are a spreader. I've never given anything to anyone yet. I know this for sure. I haven't spread COVID to one fucking person. So all you guys out there that are pointing your fingers and shit that had COVID, guess what? I love you. But you were a spreader. I've never given this to anyone. I'm careful. Whatever. I wash my hands. But for you to say, oh, now you're going to be excluded from society because you don't take a shot? Fuck. I can't tell you how this grieves my soul.
It's extremely grieving. And what we're going to talk about also today is how it's bringing out the worst in people, that we feel that we're being goaded actually to not be our best selves. And then that is sort of used against us later. So, I mean, this point of this clip was really just the first line, him acknowledging that this is an unprecedented policy. This isn't business as usual, folks. This is truly unprecedented. And, of course, last week I came on the show here with you, Jim, and I played a clip of him acknowledging the impact on the marginalized. He said, quote, it would make the marginalized more marginalized. And yet they went ahead with it through, anyway.
Yeah, why isn't anyone talking about the racist policies of excluding unvaccinated people when in New York City 70% of black people are unvaccinated? Well, I don't know. Do they really care about the black people? Or are the black people going to be excluded further from society because, we oppress them at every turn, make their lives harder? But no, nobody's talking about that. And here's, what the greatest percentage of people that are unvaccinated are? Are the PhDs, are the educated. They're not running for the shot.
That's true. I've seen that statistic. Looks like I ran out of links here. Before we switch topics.
They're not the hillbillies from the Trump supporter from the Midwest states, from the southern states. They're probably in addition to those people, but.
Hey, look, it's a loop of our video. There we go. Grant LaFleche has debunked the myth that there are quarantine camps, which is a little bizarre. I mean, Grant, I will reference first Australia, which is openly building quarantine camps complete with airport direct into the camp. I think, he may be talking about within Canada. And, we already have quarantine hotels. So I think he's just either ignorant or in denial. I think it's not appropriate for him to... Look what it says here. There are no camps, no policies on camps, no plans for camps. Well, aren't you just the omniscient know-it-all? Sorry, have you looked in every file of every government office? Are you aware of every contingency? Do you actually think it's even responsible for a government not to have a plan? Even if they never fulfill that plan, shouldn't the government at least actually have this plan? Like, what would we do if we needed to have quarantine camps? Well, sir, I've got this file right here. We've already worked it out for you. Of course there are plans. Now, whether or not our current political leaders that plan on invoking those plans, well, I mean, do I have particular reference or evidence for Canadian quarantine camps? Well, I mean, this is, by the way, him responding to Peter Terrace.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I missed this part. Like, I stay up on it a little bit when I'm bored. I creep, and I screenshot, and I post, and I mock, and I know they're watching, so it kind of makes me smile because I'm hilarious, at least for myself. I make myself laugh on a daily basis. So if I only entertain myself, that's fine. I'm good with that.
Well, you know, we should aim higher, but all right. Aim higher.
Other people have told me I'm funny, so I don't know.
That works for me.
I have fun with it, but I missed this, and I can't believe that he's digging so deep with one particular candidate, spending so much time trying to paint him in a certain light. But you nailed it. We talked offline. You said he's checkmark drunk. You didn't say that, but that's what I call it. I'll call it right now. Checkmark drunk, and he's gone back to his old tactics, which is bullying and being what you describe it. What is his tactic?
Well,
twisting
fishing
the words
through the comments,
mischaracterizing.
That's right.
Keep going.
Well, I'm doing this.
Tell me. Yeah, no, just tell me what do you call it?
Yeah. You've mischaracterization is a key phrase to use in describing how
fabrication, like all out fabrication. Like this is.
Well, I just think that this is not knowable. He can't. I mean, he could say there is no evidence that there's camps.
But what he's doing here,
he did not provide a reference that there's camps. But he's just like acting like he knows everything, and then he's going to declare the all-knowing truth. And I'm sorry, that's discrediting. That takes him down a notch. If he's got any notches left, in my view, he's like, you don't know that.
Notches, all right.
You don't know that. No, his old tricks, of course. I remember. I don't know. Some of us have been following along know that he was jealous of Aaron O'Toole's dog for having a blue check mark.
Oh, is that whose dog it was?
I think it's the puppy O'Toole or something had a blue check mark, and he's like at verified. How come I don't?
Pull it up. You got it.
I don't know. I could bring that up. You could look for it. Anyway, so he got his blue check mark, and since he got his blue check mark, I think he sort of reinvested into his Twitter persona, and his Twitter persona is as an attack dog. Of course, it is also election season. So, for example, he'll pilfer through the comments, and he'll never really screenshot original posts. He'll find something in the comments, and since we're in this topic now, we might as well get there. So he found in the comments here of the page WTF Niagara this comment here from this individual. So the original post, which maybe I probably should have bring up, so let's bring it up. Yeah, talk for a second, Jim.
No. It's unnecessary.
All right, so I'm bringing up, look at this. There's this handy dandy, super functional, have to be logged in to use it. Oh, search function. Okay. Search.
Somebody doesn't remember their passcode, so
logging in here. I actually don't remember my password enough. Hergy, what did you say? It was good old Hergy stuff. Oh yeah, it was the before and after. Actually, this is a really important one to bring up for today. A couple months ago, here we go. I'm pretty sure it was this one. So we've got Dr. Hergy said on March 22nd, in a couple months, we'll be free of the threat of lockdowns and life can recalibrate. But first, we need to get through these 2 months.
March 22nd.
March 22nd, 2021. And then have to hear last week, August 26th, 2021. You know, if cases are mostly in the unvaccinated, we need to restrict activity in the unvaxxed people.
I'm not convinced that only the unvaccinated are getting sick, man. Look at Israel right now.
Right? Well, they've managed to work Israel into their talking points.
How?
Well, they have. If you're keeping up.
How do you spin that?
They have. Honestly, what we're looking at here, I'll just put this off screen for a second here. I don't know. Just to address the overall everything. We got windows onto the world, right, Jim? We sit in our homes. We've got unlimited windows onto the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got their world and what they claim to be true. And then we've got the other world and what they claim to be true. And so it's actually a little bit taxing on the brain to compare all of the claims of one set of claims to another set of claims. It blows my mind. What we've understood in Israel up until now, they decide, oh, everyone's talking about Israel, we should address it. So they somehow wave their magic wand and just dismiss the concerns to the point where my brain actually kind of goes like a little bit. I can't actually. I mean, it's a lot of investment to be an expert in these topics, you know. So I can't make a definitive decision on why they're wrong about Israel, but I am aware that they've managed to somehow dismiss it. And of course, the topic is antibody dependency enhancement, ADE. The risk is that the vaccine could cause a spiraling up of deaths and virality. Now again, hey, I'm just a graphic design, video game making, journalism graduate.
We can't even talk
schmuck.
about hypotheticals
So
when it comes to
I'm just
misinformation. Yeah.
What do I know? What do I know? And I don't want to talk about
I'll
Israel.
be taking
I
this
didn't have
video down off of YouTube.
Yeah,
in
they're
no
gonna have to
time.
take it off of
Keeping
it.
that thing clean.
Do whatever the government tells you. Fauci is
Fauci's-
Jesus.
He knows what he's doing. Yep.
All hail Fauci.
I love.
So where were we? So we hit this.
Hillary Clinton.
This is where we
was a great example for women everywhere. And,
That's right.
I love Hillary, and not so fond of Bungalow Bill, but Hillary was a good woman. So, God bless her.
God bless Hillary.
Yes.
Obama.
Mhm. Chelsea.
Yeah, that's
Obama.
right.
Yes.
Of course, Obama.
Greatest president ever.
Michael too.
Wasn't divisive at all.
So
Michael,
where were
too.
we? We were talking about Hergé's tweets, the before and after.
It should make up.
So
for
here's my point about Hergé. I'm pretty sure in the comments here, we've got the original post. So here's the original post.
I thought.
Here's our context.
How come it's still there? I thought you took it down, or no?
I don't give a shit.
Oh.
No, I mean, like, I didn't make this comment, and this comment doesn't.
Oh.
So here's the thing.
But
According to their rule book, like, they're trying to come into our world and impose their rules.
Mhm.
Well, if I'm going to follow their rules, I should delete this comment because I don't agree with it and it's an inappropriate comment. It's not
Right.
an appropriate comment. I don't agree with it, but because I haven't deleted it yet, I'm culpable for it. Right? I'm the admin. You too. We're both admins on this
Right.
page.
I'm admin by accident, but whatever.
Well,
At
your
least
name
we-
is listed right
we-
there under the under the admins,
Great.
right? So we didn't delete this comment.
That's a story all unto itself.
Dr. Hergé is a traitor, and the noose is coming for him. He should have cease and desist when he had the chance.
But this is so hot. What do you call it?
Edgelording.
Oh no, but it's hyperbole. It's not actual literal. There's not a news coming.
Well, I mean, maybe he's praying that there would
What do
be.
you call it? Metaphoric. What do you call it when
No, he literally. It's a literal noose that he literally hopes literally comes for Dr. Hergé. Let's not get it twisted.
Come
Okay, this is
on.
not the same case as put his head on a stick. We know that because Dustin doubles down on it in a minute,
Okay.
right? So this is the clip that Grant fishes through the comments. So the point I'm making, of course, is in a couple of months we'll be free of the threat of lockdown. And this was in March. Remember back in March when they told us once we were at 70% we can reopen? That's my point, is that they're continuing to threaten lockdowns in order to coerce injections.
Right.
And then Dustin adds his 2 cents, and that's cool. So then Grant LaFleche notices WTF is doing something, and he screenshots it. Of course, this is the same day that he was dunking on Peter Terrace for the Nuremberg thing, and this all ties into the Nuremberg topic. So I think we can address it all at once
Hang on, I'm just
in terms of Nuremberg. So Grant LaFleche said, the hits keep on rolling. On a local anti-vax Facebook page, where members have repeatedly called for the trial and even execution of journalists, a member openly calls for the hanging of Niagara's medical officer of health, one of the page's frequent targets. So that's his assessment. Here's the quote, right? Dr. Hergé's a traitor and the noose is coming for him. So, I mean, first things first, WTF Niagara is not an anti-vax page. It's an anti-fake news page we're against political bias, we're against media bias, and there's more than enough of both in Niagara pertaining to the topic of vaccines, vaccine mandates, masks, etc. They're all entirely biased against what my view is as the people. They're biased. So not an anti-vax page, although there are many anti-vaxxers, quote unquote, whatever that means. Normal people who haven't had the claws put in them yet. Repeatedly call for the trial and even execution of journalists. So criticizing Grant LaFleche is one of the main purposes. It's not an anti-vax page, it's an anti-LaFleche page, to be honest. And one of the essential purposes is to criticize Grant LaFleche. And sometimes people in the comments mention Nuremberg, accusing Grant LaFleche of Nuremberg-level crimes against humanity. I think that's taking it a little too far, in my opinion. But, I mean, people have their points of view, and so what? I think it's a little excessive, and we're going to talk about it in a bit. But his assessment here, calling for the trial and even execution of journalists, well, really, we're not talking about any other journalists except you, usually, Grant. And you'll notice that the word trial is in there. You know, by your own admission, Grant, that Nuremberg is about a trial, about a process of justice. It's not a January 6th type situation where they're going to roll in, have an insurrection, and hang you right there. It's literally a trial with judges, with witnesses, with evidence. So anyway, I think it's still taking it too far to make these kind of accusations. I've only ever wanted to see Grant fired for fake news, for being a hazard to the community, for being against human rights. For example, he called for mass arrests. You remember this? I think I'll bring up the clip in a minute. He called for the mass arrest of protesters. So, I mean, those are human rights abuses. He's in a position, the newspaper is in a position of power and has used that power against the will of the people, in my view. Whether or not I think that's a Nuremberg level, well, look, at this point in the game, the number of deaths, it's not exactly like, it's not self-evident that a crime has been totally committed, although lockdowns certainly were devastating. It's not self-evident that the V is dangerous. It's not. 2 years from now, it might be totally self-evident. Really, it's a big gamble. If they're right, we're a bunch of assholes, and if we're right, they're a bunch of assholes. And the clock is ticking on that. So I mean, if 75% of people die from the vaccine, then maybe you're in Nuremberg level. But none of that has happened. So anyone talking about Nuremberg, in my view, is counting their chickens before they're laid, before they're hatched. That's how it goes. Counting your chickens before they're hatched. So, I mean, Nuremberg comes after a war. It's part of terms of peace. In order for us to have a lasting peace, we want truth and reconciliation. In order for there to be truth and reconciliation, there needs to be some sort of trial process. So I think people in our movement would be much more advised to discuss truth and reconciliation, because this is the message we're sending them. If we send this message, the noose is coming, then we're informing them that they have to win. We're not giving them an out. There's no escape. How do you tell them that there's no escape? Grant LaFleche represents himself and a class of people. When we're threatening with justice, that class of people, well, they're going to just do everything they can to thwart us because they don't want to see these kind of results. And why would they? I mean, even if they deserve it, and I'm not saying they do, but even if they deserve that kind of thing, to come right out and say that is tactically very unwise. In addition to being, is it even ethically the right move? I don't know. Am I being clear, Jim? I'm talking about specifically sending a message to the class of people, the Grant LaFleches of the world, the Dr. Hergies of the world. My point with the February 13th story, you remember the February 13th story where it was front page news and it went super viral. Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford and everyone retweeted what is, in my view, fake news about Dr. Hergy being threatened with beheading. Well, the whole reason that story hit a nerve is because that class of professional doesn't want to face those kind of consequences. So it's like a warning to them. It's a warning not to let the people win. Because if the people win, they're liable to hang y'all. So no wonder the entire class, this is not good messaging for us as a movement. This isn't civil. This is revolutionary talk. And frankly, the people writing this are writing checks they can't cash.
Why are you talking? Why are you taking responsibility for this guy in your group? Maybe he's just a troll. Is he Anon? Like, it could be anyone. This could be one of Grant LaFleshe's guys. Or
Sure
Grant
could.
LaFleche himself, just to make news. I mean, you can't take responsibility. You got a group that does some decent work, that's got a pretty solid commitment and an obvious bias against bias.
Bias
You're
versus
biased,
bias.
You're biased against bias. You call bias out everywhere. You don't allow posts on the page, man. I see all kinds of posts, and I stay out of the admin duties there. And to be clear, your suspension from Facebook was the only reason that I accidentally ended up in the bots asked me, do you want to claim this page? It doesn't have an admin. I said, yeah. And you were grateful because by then you had started up a new profile. But the only reason I'm admin on this thing, this is your baby. The only reason I'm admin is because kind of whatever.
Well, you can be Uncle Jim then.
Uncle admin. But
you're asking why am I taking responsibility for what he's saying on my page?
Well, yeah.
I'm being made
it's a public page, right?
I am being made to take responsibility for it, and I'll get to that. But that's a great question. I mean, Peter Conradi has used this sequence of events to scandalize the page. So just quickly to get through this, Dustin doubled down on the Nuremberg Code, and LaFlesche continued. And so among this exchange, someone asked Grant LaFlesche for what group they're talking about. And up until now, Grant has never said the phrase WTF Niagara. But he revealed to Peter Conradi that the page these comments were taking place on were WTF Niagara. And so as a result, Peter Conradi, who I guess I'll just explain who he is first. Who are you, Peter? You got your description of who the heck you are? What the heck? I got so many threads. Close that. Close that. There we go. Peter Conradi this is from 2016, so he is a former longtime newspaperman, 3 decades as a newspaperman in Niagara, most recently served as editor-in-chief for 3 newspapers, The Standard, The Review, and The Tribune. So this is the titular character of today's Jim Fannon Show episode, the Niagara media elite coming after WTF Niagara.
From New Brunswick.
Well, I think he's in New Brunswick now. Yeah. So if we've been following the thread of this narrative, Dustin said yada yada, Grant said this on his Twitter, then that's how Peter became privy to the existence of WTF Niagara, and he has... Oh no, did I close a tab? Reopen.
And immediately triggered an outraged
into
action to call for the arrest.
I don't know what he's calling for exactly.
Well,
he's called for pretty much everything you could call for at this point.
What are you going to do about WTF Niagara on Facebook? There are death threats to public officials.
Grant LaFlesche retweets.
Oh, jeez.
So
drama queens.
I mean, this is actually bizarre. So Grant LaFlesche knows that WTF Niagara is the vanguard media criticism home. There's really no one like WTF Niagara in terms of quality level taking on these media punks. I mean, everyone else is like swearing a lot and they don't make accurate points and they're just like aggressive. And a lot of the people in our comments swear a lot and are aggressive. Like I do try to keep it at a certain level of discourse and intellect. But so Grant's delighting in the opportunity to have Peter Conradi, the former editor-in-chief of the Niagara Dailies, tweeting at the chief of police of the Niagara Regional Police, what is Niagara Region Police doing about WTF Niagara on Facebook?
He didn't use a dot before the at, though.
Yeah. So that means it's
doesn't go in his
feed. It sneaks under the radar. Don't worry. He triple dipped actually. Is this promotion? People really need to visit WTF Niagara on Facebook and voice opinions. It's a vile collection of garbage and should be reported to police. Our MPs and MPPs and city councils have to take stands. Where are police through all this? Threats of hangings?
Thanks, Peter. We're now monetized, and we will be featuring commercials on all of our videos. You're welcome.
Threats of hangings. Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit far to say this is a threat. It's a wish. It's a nasty wish. It's like, it's not good optics. It's not the kind of rhetoric I want to support or engage with.
It's like wishing that Governor Cuomo would fall and bump his head.
Didn't you get suspended for that?
One time, yeah. Violent threats.
Right. So, and then he hit us again. This is now, look at the time here, 9:37 p.m., September 7th. And then...
You know when you should be taking something seriously is when someone says, take this seriously. I'm an authority on seriousness, and this is serious.
And so I replied to him.
Oh, is that Little in there too?
I didn't see.
I like Little. He's
right?
got a good
So I replied to him at 11:58, and at the exact same minute, a couple minutes earlier, I was trying to reply to him and be like, hey man, like I actually disavow that comment, and I guess I have to delete it if I disavow it. That's my job as an administrator, apparently, according to their rule book. So they're trying to impose their rules, control freak, control what everyone says kind of rules. Like, I don't agree with the guy, but he said it. It's on him.
It's a public page.
It's on him. And if the police have an issue with him, it's on him. It's not on me, being the administrator. Anyway, take this seriously, Peter Conradi says. Read WTF Niagara on Facebook and make your voice heard. Share it with friends. Really, is this a promotion? Demand politicians and police take action. Are you okay with the threat of hangings? No, Peter, not okay with it. Jim, are you okay? I mean, maybe in context. Are you okay with the threat of justice? Let's do something about it. There's an election campaign on. Where are the candidates on this? So, he wasn't finished. He wasn't finished yet. He had one more for us, I think. Because our old friend at the Jim Fannon Show, Laura Yip, shows up in the thread. Do you remember this?
No.
You don't know this part?
Well, I saw a gap in the conversation. I figured it was her, but where it says the user is limited to...
Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime you see that in a local thread, you know it's one of those guys that has set their private...
Right.
Or they've blocked you, or they're set to friends only.
Take this seriously.
We have a mole inside the Laura Yip camp.
No, we don't.
Yes,
Why are we
do.
not getting screenshots every day?
We're holding back on the information.
Holding back. There should be just... Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. We know nothing about it.
She's got at least
Don't tell them that.
followers, probably.
There we go. I'm looking for this. It gets to the point of kind of intimidation here. I mean, I'm not saying I feel intimidated, but when 30-year newspaper man is directly contacting the chief of police multiple times in order to investigate a Facebook group, here's what he says to Laura Yip.
How many charges do we have between us all today, the guys that were on?
Charges?
Yeah. How many?
Well, you've got
4. How many?
4?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you've got 4 summonses.
Yeah.
I've got 4 summonses,
I got
2 tickets.
2 summons. So 4 in total.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've got. 2 tickets, 2 summonses,
All right.
2 charges,
And
common nuisance.
Rob's got 8.
And he's got 8 summonses or something.
So 16 between the 3 of us.
I mean,
It's pretty
I
good.
feel like we're almost normalizing it by talking about it. This is absolutely disgusting.
Abusive process. And a libel notice.
Well, I mean, do I
come-
have any intellectual rights over this Facebook group called WTF Niagara? I mean, through, indirectly or vicariously, he has definitely defamed us.
Hmm.
100% cowards go to threaten the lives of civil servants and members of the media.
He's still a media man. Like, where does he get off judging? Cowards. What? The whole group is cowards now because we call out media bias? I don't
That's
get
like
it.
kind of the opposite of cowardice.
It's so deranged.
It's a little bit courageous. It's at least a little courageous. We're real name people too. We're not anons. We're not anons. We're
No.
so far above the anons because we use our real names and have real
Look
consequences.
at who's relevant people.
What kind of coward speaks his mind and then faces charges for it?
Look at the relevant people on the right. Is that Laura?
There it is. Well, she's right here. You can see. So you're unable to view this tweet because the account owner has limited their.
Right.
That's Laura. She says something.
Something.
And Peter says, I think you can be more public about what's going on. Name people. Name the group.
Oh, fuck.
Don't make folks guess. I think as senior politicians, you can put pressure on Facebook. Well, hold on a second. Peter Conradi is asking senior politicians. I mean, they're just Niagara regional councillors. That's not really that senior. Put pressure on Facebook. They want the government to pressure a private organization to censor a Facebook group because you don't like what we complain about. Okay, this is freaking awful. I think you can report to police. Bring the chief to council and ask him what can be done. Then Laura, I guess, Lip replies, keep going. Don't stop. Bring it and them up in every meeting, every committee meeting. Dear God, I hope this happens.
What?
Please. Do you know how hilarious this is? How important does Peter think we are? Am I that important? No. Is defiance that important? Maybe. That's right. It's not about me or you. It's about defiance, isn't it? I'm actually a schmuck. And you're a schmuck too, Jim. But what we are is defiant. And defiance is itself the virtue. And in their case, the sin. So here he says, there should be a security report or something. I would reverse the pressure and make it relentless. Eek.
Wow.
Okay, Peter.
What are you gonna?
All right, Pete.
What are you gonna put pressure on?
On us?
To stop us from speaking further on the matters?
I mean, if everything goes Peter's
I
way,
think we should be put underground and censored so that we can't have a microphone at all. We can't speak on a megaphone, a microphone, a platform. We can't have social media accounts. We should just stop everything.
well, you're more than welcome
Stop
to
being.
speak freely as long as you're saying what they want you to say.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
Well,
you can
it's gonna be a
talk as much
problem.
as you want, wherever you want, as long as it's entirely in agreement and complete fealty.
You know, it's funny because a few people on that page right there are friends of mine when I used to think like they did. Weird.
Right. Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, I was also chased out of the left for demanding rational coherence.
I think it was when I used to coach Lori up on many things. We were very tight going back to the first time that she was appointed to council as the third runner-up after the resignation of Greg Washuta. And I was on her jock from day one, had her on the show and blah, blah, blah. And some of my advice included lose the laugh on air. It's a crutch. It does not play well. What you're talking about is not funny. Don't cackle on air. It doesn't sound good. And
Well, now that she's our political opponent,
Tammy Jennerette
Please
used
cackle
to
more.
cackle all the time.
cackle more, please,
I
Laura.
also criticize the station from the standpoint of you put your news people, the people that are giving you the news on the top and bottom of the hour, like it's supposed to be, neutral. You put them on the round table and let them hear about, no, one Niagara sucks, or I think we should carbon tax, or well, I'm voting for this guy, or whatever. You're like, I don't want to know my opinions of my news people. They shouldn't have opinions. They should be robots on the air. Anyway,
More or less.
I think the last straw for Laura and I was her on with Kevin Jack and them talking about sexual assault and rape and her laughing. One of the
You
it's
texted
just,
her and you
I
said,
texted her,
"Oh, rape, very
fun."
funny."
Yeah, rape and sexual molestation, hilarious. Or, I can't remember the words, but whatever. And that was it. And then I see her tweeting about it, how, some guy told her, like, don't laugh. It doesn't make you look good as a woman or whatever. Like, no, put that shit in context, dude. We were friends, and then we weren't because I'm a big boy, and I decided that the left was going mad, and I was leaving it, and I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
It happened organically, but anyways, it's here nor there. I'd love to tell stories about Emily Spanton too, but we could go on and on.
Well, let's not get there now. I think we've hit the Peter Conradi story.
I think I already got a Spanton smash in there.
I think we got it in
smash
there.
isn't the correct adjective.
All right, we got that over there. So, so there's a couple things.
Sorry.
Here we go. We got one of his followers saying, hopefully social media regulation.
Okay, we got to wrap this up. It's almost 4:30. I want to stay under an hour.
I agree.
Okay.
So we got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Well, we do. We started a few minutes after 4.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. Of course.
You're dealing with a real beast over here.
I love this
You
guy.
you got a beast over here.
I just keep saying over and over all day. I know what Shelby feels like. I love this man. I love this man. I love this man.
Yeah, she puts up with a lot. Maybe she's listening right now.
I love this man. I love this man.
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm a different breed. I'll tell you that much.
You're a weird duck. That's for sure.
I'm a weird.
Okay, let's hit it.
I'm a weirdo. Well, we've got an event coming up. We started that at the beginning, right?
Yep.
We hit that.
We did that.
We hit that.
Mm-hmm.
We've hit Peter Conradi, metaphorically.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, Peter.
Yeah, baby.
Look at this face. Oh, buddy.
He's a good-looking guy.
There you go.
Jeez.
Wow.
High def. You don't wear stripes and stuff like that for the camera, dude. Look at what it does. Everyone knows.
That's a real eye
no
twister.
pinstripes for the camera.
That's a real optical illusion right
Solid
there.
colors, please. Hello.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say to this. My response is what ends up happening is on Saturday we're having a protest. So that means that me and the people like me are going to leave our houses and show up in public in the real world. And so ahead of that, they've done what they can. They, being people like this, have done what they can to make us look like total assholes in advance of that. Now, we might be partial assholes. It's true. We could be kind of a little bit of a, we got to work on it.
Not always the kindest.
Not always the best, but we're not
working on
total assholes. They want to make sure that we won't even listen to us. Yeah, those are those assholes. They do death threats. I don't want to listen to them lead up to their death threats. No, man. Leave us alone.
Death threats.
Don't tread on me. It's not a death threat. It's a plea for civil society.
Yeah, leave me the fuck alone.
Leave me alone. And those who make violent... No, how's it go? Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. John F. Kennedy. And that's not a threat. That's a call for a civil society. And so anyone, especially people in power, the media and the politicians, who go out of their way to interfere in discourse, in political debate, are making peaceful revolution impossible. And so nobody wants what comes after. Most people, non-psychopathic people, don't want war, don't want consequences like that. We want civil society. We're using our words as our weapons in order to defend civil society. We're not the radicals rewriting society. We're not in your life trying to take your bodily autonomy and inject you with something. That's not us. We're sitting back trying to live our lives. Leave us the heck alone. Mm-hmm. So we're not the radicals. There's no way we have the moral low ground here because we are the interlopers are coming for us. So that's what I got to say about that.
Shelby is watching too. Love him. That's what she said.
She said she loves me?
Love him.
Aww.
She said him. I think she said, settle down.
Might be talking about the baby.
Yeah, or
might be talking about, or you.
Could be the host.
I
or no.
Well.
I mean, I think she loves me.
Well.
I love her.
You're okay. You're all right.
I'm lovable.
You're lovable.
Well, did we hit it all? Are we fully exhausted?
We're at an hour.
Look at this one on the screen.
We're at an hour.
No,
so.
it's 4:30. You're right. We started late. I just bust balls. But hopefully social media regulation on hate speech is coming soon. The election killed the previous broadcasting bill, but it didn't really address this.
So what are they talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, when people tell you who they are, believe them. And here is a 30-year veteran of the Niagara news, like industry. Like he
Chirping
cut
us from
his
New
teeth,
Brunswick.
got his bread and butter,
Playing
and
local
after his
politics.
entire career of being that
Because he
guy,
found someone to hate.
is recruiting the police to persecute. Does this say a lot about Niagara region in general? Did he become this new monster, or was he always this way? Hey, I don't know. But I mean, I don't appreciate being... actually, I do kind of appreciate this. I mean, this is like a flaccid attack, Peter. This is your little flaccid attack. Oh, my God. Will the chief of police do something
It's
about
not
WTF Niagara?
Not massive attack.
Flaccid attack. Yeah, I'm not afraid of you, Peter. Maybe I should be. He's got the whole team lined up against me. Keep the pressure. Make it relentless, is what he said. Okay, well, diamonds form under pressure, baby.
Yeah, we've been there, Billy.
All right, that's enough talk for one day, isn't it, Jim?
Look for the stories of us, I don't know, on the front page of your local scandal sheet. And on the way out, we're going to listen to this. We're going to leave this play.
If you want a picture.
Whoa, easy, bro.
You going heavy?
No, you're heavy now. Okay. Is this the start it over? Is this the song you started me on that I said start over? We're not at the beginning of it though.
That's the beginning.
Oh, okay. You want to introduce it? Is it all instrumental?
Yeah.
What's it called? Oh, you think you're getting out of here just like that? What the fuck? What's it called?
This song is called Imagine a Boot Stamping on Your Face Forever. The audio is a sample from Orwell's 1984.
Oh, it is. I see the Utopian Dream up there.
Yeah, the Utopian Dream was one of my musical projects where I made music to match the conspiracists' perspective. So I've obviously got some Orwell and Obama and George Bush and that sort of thing. Fun album, real fun. I was born for this stuff. Cool. Thanks for having me, Jem. Right, thanks for listening. Did we look at the comments? Do we care? Thanks for the comments, folks. We'll check it out next time.
Mimi's in. What up, LaBelle? Susan's in. Rick, what up? DJ, man, it's spent a lot of time with you today, Deej. YouTube, what's up, Mike? Mike says they like to call us all Rebel News followers anti-vaxxers too, but they're just journalists.
That's true. Yeah.
Mike, thanks for getting in. Bobby, what's up? Gadet's in. It's Gadet Cleaners. He gets my clothes immaculate. Gadet. That's Cadet Cleaners. And James St. West, thank you for the previous hate comments. We love you. We'll leave it play. Is this going to play? This can play for 20 minutes or so, right?
Well, yeah, there's more than 20 minutes of beats here, yeah.
They're going to roll?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to leave it up on the screen here. We'll kill the mics and dump the video. You guys can look at this, minus this, and this. Wait for it. And then, oh no, well, now what? What did you turn off now, Demi? Okay, we'll get his mic up. You're welcome, brother. Always a good time. TV camera 1, there we go. Kill the pad, and kill the iOS, and switch it over. All right. Good night now.
We control the laws of nature. No art. We control the laws of nature. No science. We control the laws of nature. No literature. We control the laws of nature. No science. We control the laws of nature. No art. We control the laws of nature. No science. We control the laws of nature. No literature. We control the laws of nature. No science. We control the laws of nature. No art. We control the laws of nature. No science. We control the laws of nature. No literature. We control the laws of nature. No science. We control the laws of nature. No art, we control the laws of nature. No science, we control the laws of nature. No literature, we control the laws of nature. No science, we control the laws of nature. No art, we control the laws of nature. No science, we control the laws of nature. No literature.
When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. Drop dead. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. But what makes it a problem is that you're dragging a past. All those things you've done, all those achievements you've made, all these relationships and people that you've accumulated as your friends, all that has to go. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all. When you die, you just drop dead, that's all.
not afraid of killing. I'm not afraid of killing, nor to be killed. I'm not afraid of killing. I'm not afraid of killing, nor to be killed. I'm not afraid of killing. I'm not afraid of killing, nor to be killed. I'm not afraid of killing.
Put 5 monkeys in a cage.
Beat that monkey.
The first monkey who moves up to
Beat that
get
monkey.
the banana, he touches it.
Beat that monkey.
The other 4 monkeys get a small
Beat that
shot.
monkey.
The other 4 monkeys
Beat that monkey.
pull the ladder
Beat that
climber
monkey.
down and start
Beat that
essentially
monkey.
beating on that monkey.
Beat that monkey. Take a step on that ladder. Take a step on that ladder. Beating on that monkey. Take a step on that ladder. Beat that monkey. Take a step on that ladder. Beating on that monkey. Take a step on that ladder. Take a step on that ladder. Beating on that monkey. Take a step on that ladder. Beat that monkey. Take a step on that ladder. Beating on that monkey.
Beating on that monkey.
Beat 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 that monkey. And is there not a monkey who goes, are we in a cage just full of monkeys beating on each other?
Beat that monkey. 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 Beating on that monkey.
Beat that monkey. Beat that monkey. Beat that monkey. Beat that monkey.
Beating on that monkey.
Beat that monkey.
Beating on that monkey.
Beat that monkey.
Beating on that monkey.
Beat that monkey.
Beating on that monkey.
Beat that monkey. And is there not a monkey who goes, are we in a cage just full of monkeys beating on each other?
Beating on that monkey. Beating on that monkey.
And is there not a monkey who goes, are we in a cage just full of monkeys beating on each other?
Beating on that monkey. Beating on that monkey.
And is there not a monkey who goes, monkey? And is there not a monkey who goes, monkey? And is there not a monkey who goes, monkey? And is there not a monkey who goes, monkey?
It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. Slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is please leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel melted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone.
No republic, no republic, survive. No republic, no republic, survive. No republic, no republic, survive.
Axiom.
Order on the chaos. Order on the chaos. Order on the chaos. Order on the chaos. Scripture tells us there's a river, streams, make glad the city of God. Holy place. It's time up. Order on the chaos. Order on the chaos. Order on the chaos.